Okay guys, today we're going to show you how we wired up our subs in the boot. So as you can see, the boot's fully empty. Don't worry about them wires, they're our test wires for testing out what we used to have. We used to have a 500 watt only. We're going for two 500s and a 1000 watt sub now, so wiring's got to be changed out. But as you all know, VF Commodores, batteries in the boot makes it a lot easier. We're going to show you where to wire the accessory wire, which as you can see it's already in there, which is the first 10 amp fuse under the main plug there. So we pop that out, put in a joiner and pop in there. So that's how we run that. As you can see, the earth wire for the old setups there and the old 500 watt power wires there. So we're going to pull it all out, show you how to wire into the rear sub speakers as well to get your RCA outputs. So stay tuned.
No, there ain't no stopping.
Okay, so we're going to start with what we call KISLs. These are RCA plugs that actually tap into your speaker wires. So as you can see, there's speaker wires and they go up and we've got them joined onto there. So let's show you how we've connected them to the rear boot. All they do is connect speaker wires to RCA plugs, as you can see. So looking at the sub in the back parcel trays here, as you can see we have this connector. So it's a female connector we've joined our wire to and then put the original wire onto the other end, which just doubles up the wire there. So that's the original part and that's the secondary part. So it's a female to male adapter, spade adapter. We've just connected them, as you can see, and then we've run it up there and then up the parcel tray, under the parcel tray, which comes out there, comes down, and there's our red and black that we've run off the speaker into our KISLs. So these KISLs are done by Kicker. They're like 40 to 50 Australian dollars, and you just tap them into your speaker wires or your sub wires if you've already got it. Especially this has got a Bose system with a preamp setup, so it doesn't matter if it's preamped. Most amps can handle that now, but they've got a little switch on them into your KISLs. Now we'll move on. As you can see, we have our power wire set up here with our ring terminal and our amp connector with 100 amp inline fuse and our earth cable, which is our amp connector side, and our ring terminal for the battery. So we'll get them in and then we'll move on to the next part. Now we're done. We have our earth wire directly to the battery. It runs up and we run it behind the fuse box and out the other side, as well as our remote wire. So as you can see here guys, under the main plug here there's a 10 amp fuse. We use a fuse link joiner by Nava and we take out the original fuse. As you can see there, we put in that and we put the original fuse in the front holder, which fuses the link again, and the second 10 amp fuse you see there is actually the wire which is attached to the remote wire. Also runs up behind the fuse box, so that comes out the other side. Now as you can see, we got our 100 amp power wire set up there, and you can see I've only used a tie. There's a reason for that, not a zip tie. I've only used a tie wire because using a tie wire, if I need to change that, it's easy. I can just untie it, change the wire and that, and you're going to question why I've got so much power wire there. Well, that's because this setup is only temporary with these separate boxes. There is going to be a custom box setup built for the car. Power wires be run differently, amps be mounted in different spots, so excess wire. Not ideal. This is not an ideal way to do it. It does generate heat like this. If anyone in electrics knows, a power wire curled up can generate heat, so you got to be careful of that. There's a reason why it's curled up the way it is. Get enough heat resistance between it, but that won't matter with this 4 gauge for the system we're running. You probably noticed the power wire is not on the battery yet. The reason is that the last thing you do is connect the main power wire. So we leave that off until the amp's in, plumbed up, everything's plumbed up, and then you put the main power wire. Put on before, chances are on your end wires here, you are going to arc out and blow the fuse or set something on fire if you got it sitting on carpet and arcs out, sparks, etc. So we leave it separate. As you can see, the wires are run there. So we're just going to put in the floor again and get it all neat and tidy, and then fit some boxes and then wire up the amp. But that's pretty straightforward setup. As I said, we run our KISLs off each one, so we have a left and right still on there running to the RCAs. So our KISL links with our connectors off the subs in there run down into our KISLs, which are all tucked up behind there. Excess RCA cords rolled up there, tied wired off. Everything is tie wired and neatly tucked away in its separate little pieces. So you can see my remote wire is longer there, tucked up there. There's the KISLs just there, and the RCA wire is all rolled up there. Reason why we don't trim, as I said, is this is only temporary, this box setup, until we build the custom box, move the amps. So we'll need all that wire in the future. So time to put the floor in and finish this off. Show you the end result. Now we are on to the end result. So this is what we're now running. We got a Kicker 500 watt, another Kicker 500 watt competition. Running a Kenwood 2000 watt amp, which is also running what's behind this box, which I'll just duck into the back seat and show you, is our Euphoria sub. So we have it reverse mounted. Don't worry about the clarion box, we'll just cover that up. It's just the box I'm using. Have it reverse mounted into the cab for a bit of just bling bling, because I'm just, as I said, this is a test setup to work out what we're going to do, just to make it a lot more spacious in the boot instead of having a reverse mount sitting there. If you probably noticed, we have done a little video before for a few of our personal followers on the reverse mount that used to be in the boot here, but now it's all hooked up. So you can see the new earth wire there, all 4 gauge power wires run, everything's tucked away and ready to go. So now for a test, so let's jump in and see. The unit hasn't been tuned yet, we're just going to run it on a radio station here, FBI radio for you Sydney followers.
there ain't no stopping us.